You walk through your front door after a grueling, exhausting day, and before you even put your keys down, your dog is there. They are absolutely losing their mind with joy, tail wagging so hard their entire body shakes. Every dog owner knows this chaotic greeting. But for decades, skeptics have argued that dogs are biological scavengers, feigning affection for food because we happen to be the humans who fill their bowls. We have all been told not to anthropomorphize our dogs, a scientific warning against projecting human emotions onto animal behavior. When your dog rests their chin on your knee, the traditional scientific view was that they were exhibiting a learned behavior that historically resulted in a treat or a pat on the head. But modern neuroscience has completely shattered this cold, calculated view of the canine mind by mapping their brains with hard, real-time data. Researchers can now see exactly what dogs feel in real time without relying on guesswork. This neurological evidence clarifies whether a dog actually feels genuine affection or simply reacts to a resource provider. Understanding these biological responses defines the absolute underlying reality of the human-dog relationship. Neuroscientist Dr. Gregory Burns and his team at Emory University successfully trained dogs to willingly walk into an MRI scanner, place their heads on a custom chin rest, and hold perfectly still while fully awake so their brain activity could be measured. Looking at this 3D wireframe of a canine brain, we can pinpoint a specific region called the caudate nucleus. In mammals, this is the central hub of the brain's reward system, rich in dopamine receptors. It lights up when experiencing love, anticipating something wonderful, or seeing someone we deeply care about. Here we see a baseline graph generated from the experiment. The researchers exposed the dogs to 4 distinct stimuli: the scent of their specific owners, obtained from sweat swabs, unfamiliar humans, familiar dogs, and strange dogs. Notice how the data spikes significantly for one specific variable. When the dogs smelled their specific owner, their caudate nucleus activated more powerfully than it did for any other scent. They neurologically prioritized their owner above everything else in their environment. This direct comparison chart tracks the dog's brain responses to food versus praise. In 13 out of 15 dogs, the reward center of the brain lit up just as strongly, and in some cases significantly more, for their owner's praise than it did for a piece of kibble. The data suggests a dog's preference for their owner's happiness is a hardwired neurological priority, which challenges the idea that they are merely performing for food. Neuroscientist Susanna Herculano-Husel developed a method to accurately measure the exact number of neurons in animal brains, ending decades of debate about canine cognitive capacity. Looking at this scale comparison, we see a distinct physiological profile. Dogs possess roughly 530 million cortical neurons in their brain's gray matter, which is more than double the 250 million neurons found in cats. Watch how these nodes reorganize into dense, interconnected networks. Cortical neurons are the biological building blocks associated with thinking, planning, and predicting future events based on past experiences. These structures allow a dog to process and respond to complex social cues. When you are sick in bed, your dog actively observes you. Their 530 million neurons process changes in your breathing rhythm, the specific stress pheromones, and the drop in body temperature. When your dog curls up against your back during these moments, they are responding to your physical state. Their brain recognizes these signs of distress, and their attachment prompts them to offer security and comfort. To understand how dogs became so attuned to us, we have to look at their DNA. During the domestication process, which began somewhere between 11,000 and 40,000 years ago, dogs underwent a radical genetic shift. This rotating DNA model isolates a specific gene sequence. Scientists recently discovered that dogs possess unique variants of genes that in humans are linked to a rare condition called Williams-Buren syndrome. In humans, this genetic sequence is characterized by hypersociality. In dogs, this specific mutation was naturally selected for over thousands of years, creating a biological compulsion to seek out human faces and form intensely strong social bonds. A dog's nasal cavity has up to 300 million sensory receptors. Through a phenomenon called nasal lateralization, dogs process emotional chemical signals differently depending on which nostril they use, allowing them to smell human fear or stress and mirror that emotional state. Their brains work overtime to figure out what you are saying, too. In MRI tests where dogs listen to real words and total gibberish, their auditory processing areas lit up far more for the fake words. The canine brain works twice as hard when it encounters something new, attempting to extract any possible meaning from the unfamiliar signal. From their mutated DNA to their specialized sensory organs, a dog's biology is optimized for interspecies emotional connection. This deep wiring becomes most apparent when you simply look at your dog. When you and your dog lock eyes, a distinct chemical reaction occurs in both of your brains simultaneously. As illustrated by this glowing feedback loop, gazing into your dog's eyes triggers a massive release of oxytocin in both nervous systems. This is the exact same hormonal loop that bonds a human mother to her newborn infant. When your dog seeks out your gaze, they are actively participating in a biological feedback loop that lowers stress, reduces blood pressure, and physically bonds your two nervous systems together through chemical release. Consider what this means for the animals sleeping at your feet right now. They live a fraction of the time we do. Their bodies age faster, and their entire universe is contained within the walls of your home and the places you take them. They do not care about your job, your wealth, or your mistakes. Tens of thousands of years of evolution have rewired their minds to prioritize your scent above food, and to release the chemicals of maternal love when they look at your face. The bond you share with your dog is a scientifically validated, biologically profound reality. For more informative and knowledgeable videos like this, make sure to subscribe to Bark Decoded.